Welcome to the first Silent K deck tech. Today I'm gonna give you the most cost-efficient way to get a cheap win and lose friends at the same time. Izzet Spells, #Blue Mage for life. Izzet Spells is a tempo/control deck that can adjust fairly easily mid-match. Let's take a look at this bundle of hate, shall we? This deck has 4 enchantments, 16 instants, 15 sorceries and 25 lands. Let's get into the cards, starting with the important bits, the enchantments. 4 copies of Double Vision. All I can say is if one of these resolves and sticks, you will have your application to Value Town reviewed and instantly accepted. Next, onto the instants. With 4 Shock, 4 Anticipate, 4 Blitz of the Thunder Raptor, and the King of Denial, 4 Thassa's Intervention. These alongside Double Vision, will provide you a disrespectful amount of value. Next up you have 4 Thundering Rebuke, 4 Storm's Wrath, 4 Experimental Overload, and 3 Shatterskull Smashing. You shouldn't have much trouble from any threat your opponent plays, especially since R&D keeps letting the most depraved cards you can dream of slip through, only to be hit by Odin's backup weapon of choice, the Banhammer. The mana base is pretty standard: 4 Riverglide Pathway, 4 Temple of Epiphany, 4 Fabled Passage, 9 Mountain, and 4 Island. Shatterskull Smashing can be substituted for Valakut Awakening, Spike Field Hazard, Kazal's Fury, or even Dwarven Mine. This all depends on the meta, so do as thy will. You maybe have noticed a pattern at this point: I want everything in 4s just like the seasons I don't get. The win conditions for the deck are as follows: Experimental Overload, and Shock. No need to adjust your device, you heard me correctly, Shock. The deck plays no creatures in the main board, so you will completely rely on those 2 spells. Experimental Overload makes AXX weird, with X being the number of spells in the yard, following that up with grabbing an instant or sorcery from the graveyard and adding it to your hand. When you double, triple, or even quadruple that effect along with Shock, you will begin to see why it hurts so good. As for the sideboard, you should play 4 Maddening Cacophony, 3 Brash Taunter, which are cards that provide alternate win conditions, 3 Negate, and 2 Unsubstantiate for the control and combo matchup, along with 3 Cinderclasm for the mono-red matchup that you are guaranteed to play. Anyways, that's enough of me rambling like I have 2 bottom lips. Let's get into some games. Tap the like, subscribe and share button. It really is helpful, and when we reach 100 subscribers we will have our first giveaway. Game 1. With the easy keep, we play the Temple to see the Wrath that we can't keep with the lack of info we have. Would you look at that, it's the card we thought we put to the bottom of our deck. Luckily our opponent doesn't know we are the digital Chris Angel, or we would be DQ so fast that Dairy Queen might start selling ice cream again.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
We debate playing the Shatterskull for a sec before realizing there's nothing to do on 2. So we play that passage and pass. Our opponent plays a land on 2 and follows it up with a Channeler. You can tell the modern format has scarred me for life, still looking out for those stifles even though the opponent is not even in blue. #never forget. Just like my channel, that Channeler will not grow as I play a mountain and strike it down with a rebuke like YouTube did the first video I ever posted. My opponent follows that up with a whole lot of nothing as I do the same. This goes on for a while as I scy away a Experimental Overload. My opponent shocks me with a giant and plays 2 very dead creatures. I get a 2-for-1 with the Wrath, and it's back to doing nothing for a while until my opponent plays a Croxa. He will not be joining us again. As it resolves, I play a Blitz on it, and it will be banished to the Shadow Realm. During the end step he elects to draw some cards with the castle and I will anticipate. I play double vision and wait with a baleful grin on my face.
Hey, that's pretty good.
My opponent shocks me again and plays the Bone Crusher, then passes. I respond in kind by submitting my application to Value Town as I play Experimental Overload, creating a 5-5 and a 4-4, getting back a Blitz and a Anticipate. My opponent is trying to get on the value train by playing a Gadim's Awakening. I let it resolve and play the Anticipate and get Experimental Overload and a land. Opponent passes and I play another Experimental Overload, getting back a Wrath that I play and a Anticipate. Back to passing for a turn or two. My opponent plays Mire Triton, I play Anticipate on their end step and get Thassa's Intervention and a land. On my turn we kill the Triton and pass, and my opponent plays another one. We cast the Intervention for 6 in their end step and grab a Shock, land, Experimental Overload, and another Intervention. Value. My turn we shock the Triton and our opponent. Pass. Our opponent plays a dead Rankle, it didn't stand a chance. In the second main they play a Channeler and pass. We play Overload and get back Blitz and Shock. Netting a 8-8 and a 7-7 in the process, which both die to removal on our opponent's turn. They follow that up with another Kroxa. In response we shock the for 4 and send him to join Mokuba in the Shadow Realm. My opponent calls an Uber to complain about the nice neighborhood I moved to and to get a ride to Baskin Robbins for 2 scoops of ice cream. Game 2 on the play, which is something that feels weird because it rarely happens, so we play the Temple and keep the passage on top. I play Overload and get back a shock that I can't use to kill the Sea Dasher octopus he plays on the end step. We block the octopus because we can't let mono blue decks ride the value train, and they play a Stonecoil Serpent on 4 and pass turn out the black blue, but that doesn't change much for now. We rebuke the serpent and shock the octopus, then pass. We then accept that we could have played double vision last turn, but we're already committed to keeping them off the value train, so we run it into the counter spell we know they are holding. Unfortunately it was a rewind, so they follow it with another octopus and pass. We attempt to blitz the octopus, but they play Starlit Mantle, so we respond with another blitz. They mutate a Pouncing Shark. We wrath the board as we remain confused in regards to what we are playing against. We play a Overload and get back another blitz. They flash in another Vandal, which we will not kill because we have a 5/5 and they have a 1/1. Not sure how this math thing works, but I think 5 makes it to 20 faster than 1 does, while I am calculating that my opponent already calculated how long the Uber ride was to Baskin Robbins as he hops in to go get 2 scoops of ice cream. Thanks for watching. If it was helpful or you just enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe.